Yes, today the topic is personal order, personal power. Now we are looking at how to develop the skills of getting into order at a personal level for ourselves because we are the role models and for children. So eventually we gain that mastery over ourselves. It could begin with simple thing, let's take as cleaning up my desk or keeping my desk orderly or doing my bed when I wake up in the morning, or keeping my bag in a particular place every day. Now, these are personal orders. When you see things around children being little chaotic, thrown around, scattered, unable to find things on time, then there is no personal order. And if you can just think of situation when you have not had things in order, was there clarity? Did you have clarity? you know um, I forget where I put things. I'm trying to recall. I'm spending so much time trying to find. So all these things happen on a very subtle levels to begin with. A messy desk is an example, especially for children. If you want to develop this order, if their desks are clean, if their bags are organized, there is some kind of already a power in them. Now, this is something we want to keep in mind, especially when working with children, because scattered table indicates a scattered mind. Somewhere the clarity is lost, and then I'm trying to get my energy to get things in order to get started with something, which means there is energy lost. And obviously, when we tell children focus, study, do this, do that, it's not going to work. To begin with, again, very, very subtle, it's not directly linked. I always compare it with um, if you have attended any Shivratri events at Isha, which is online. Sadhguru keeps telling, keep your spine upright and you will see a surge of energy. I'm not there yet, but it is for people who are very subtly aligned with energies. And there is subtle scattering of energies also, which begins with simple ordering. If I can get things in place, then when my table is kind of laid out, somewhere my eyes look for things that are available, that are needed. My mind begins to settle. And if I develop this habit of ordering my desk every morning, then my hands are kind of getting attuned to doing things immediately. I have a friend of mine who is instantly cleaning up, putting the things back in place, pick things from where they belong, use it, put it back. And I used to wonder how. And you can see that when someone is at work, like let's say an artist working with the colors and brush and water, just observe them. Do they pick something, use it, put it back in the place, or do they just drop it, not worrying about making the place messy around them? And then we also have this acceptance, oh, the artist's desk is always messy. Is it really true? I mean, it could be that I'm so focused in one activity, I kind of lose it in other areas, but somewhere I need to begin developing this inner alignment where I'm aware of where I'm putting my things. There was one memory tip that I had read somewhere, because especially for people like me who are wearing glasses, we take the glasses off, we keep somewhere, and then we forget where we had put it. So the tip was, take your glass out and say, I'm putting it on the table, just an indicator. I'm putting it on the chair, I'm putting it on the shelf. And it works. So One is I'm paying that attention for that simple 5 second sentence. That's energy that is focused. Versus I'm just doing it randomly. My hands are taking my glasses off and leaving it wherever they are. Then my mind is not there. There is no inner alignment between my outside doing and my inside thinking. And then I start searching for it. And we'll see many instances during the day when we're searching for one thing or the other throughout, because somewhere I'm scattered. Personal order is something that brings my scattered mind to focus. Because I'm putting things away. Cleaning up the desk is tip of the iceberg. We are just beginning with it. And then how I order my books. So, like children, for example, according to the timetable, do I color code them so I can easily pull it out? I have a friend who organizes her closet, her cupboard so very well. You can wake her up at 2 a.m. and tell her where is this pink handkerchief. She can close her eyes, go pick it up, and give it to you. I mean, it may be a little too much for many of us, but then she can give you not just the handkerchiefs, the documents, the things in the kitchen, the menu for the week, the plan for the day. She's organized in everything. Sometimes, like I said, you can go overboard. I had another person I worked with, and it had to happen according to the priority she had set for the day. I worked for her. It was extremely difficult for me. It could not change. But life is not like that. Life does change. Now, I prepare this desk for me to work, and let's say someone else comes in, I have to work. I should be flexible enough to share the space with someone else. That should also be there. But then this is one element where I can bring better focus, which is what children need these days. Lesser distraction. Being able to say this much of TV is enough, this much of gaming is enough, or realizing that playing too much game is distracting to me unless I get into it. Yesterday was Sunday, and I said, okay, let me watch something on YouTube. I started watching, and I must have watched about two shows, 20, 30, not shows, like documentaries, and I could see my head hurting. And somewhere I said, okay, this is not for my consumption because I'm not aligned with it. And sometimes I could mindlessly go with it because I'm bored or I have to catch up on some news. Could be. But again, when I want to catch up on news, there's a purpose, there's some order. Yeah. So we need children to have more concentration, to have less distractions, to be motivated, to be less stressed, to be more confident, because we want them to do their best and do very well. And one of the things is that orderliness. Then there is clarity. And when there is clarity, there is less confusion. Because I have to do these things before I go on to have my dinner or before I go to bed, for example. I have to clean my desk. When that is a habit, then there is obviously no doubt about it, no question about it. We have to just do it. And this is something we need to do now because the environment around us is naturally scattering us, even adults. I don't have plans to go anywhere out today, but then I wake up and I see this advertisement that there is this exhibition that they are having some rare something, and I'm all throwing things out. Anyway, there was no plan, so I'm ignoring everything else and I'm heading to this. And I had no intention of buying anything, but I then buy several stuff. And you see that fatigue coming in very easily, laziness coming in because I'm unsure of myself. Right now I do not worry much about myself like adults, like parents. It's more that I want children to bring the order, and the only way they can do is when they see me do it. Yet, you will have examples where parents are supremely ordered, but children are messy. Children can't get, it's not their intention. Sometimes they could be intentionally messy, but many a time they are not intentionally messy. They just do not know how to do it. And children take a long time to get out of childhood and become an adult. Good 25 years, a third of my life. So I need to be patient there. So that power develops consistently, steadily, slowly, with the day to day little incremental habits. That is the real strength. It is not that I want to show something, prove something, and be done with it. Somewhere I have to begin believing that my time and my mind matter. Again, personal order is not about perfection. It is not that I'm trying to be the best in the world. It is more about self respect. Do I respect myself enough? That is the key to giving me the power. It begins with outward. I had read something about Sri Vishveshwaraya, and he was one of those men who was immaculately dressed. And it was DV Gundappa, and him were working on something. They were very, very good friends. And DVG happened to visit Sri M. Vishveshwaraya, and Vishveshwaraya told his attendant for to communicate to DVG to wait, because he had to dress appropriately to receive the guest. And DVG was his opposite character. And it's like, we are friends, we know each other. What's the big deal? But it was a big deal. And you will, if you study Sir M. Vishveshwaraya's biography, you will know he was very meticulous in everything. Every letter he received, he would handwrite and reply to them. He would take the stamp. Then I don't know how many of you have really used an envelope and stamp, but water, the stamp used to come with the glue on it. So rub it with water and fix it at the exact place where the post office would stamp a seal on it. And I've also heard stories where people would place the stamp where the seal would not apply, so they could reuse the stamp. So you will see all of these, and these are nice stories to tell children. It is not just one thing of keeping the desk clean, it comes with so many other qualities. And again, it's very slow to build, one simple habit at a time. One simple habit. Let's just begin with 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes of cleaning the clutter, and you will see how many things we can clean within those 2 minutes. Or when we say let's clean, that idea of cleaning is so inundating that I push it out. Now let's say 2 minutes only. And then you'll begin taking things as they show up, and you will suddenly see things are in order. And it's only beginning, like I said, it's like the tip of the iceberg. And the minute I get comfortable with just this 2 minute cleanup every day that I come, I find exactly where my mouse is, where my book is, where my pen is, and I don't have to run through. I can sleep at peace because I can wake up and find my things where they are. I'm not constantly in anxious mode, which many children are, especially when the exams come up. Have I taken my pencil or not? I forgot. Did I study this or not? I forgot. It's somewhere because we don't have some kind of order. That is why we insist on rhythm, establishing a rhythm. I will take shower as soon as I wake up, for example. Only then will I have my breakfast. Many households have this habit. So, rhythm is nothing but establishing my order for the day. Nature has that. Nature has order. We kind of know when the monsoons come, we know when the winter sets in. They say Shivratri comes and it's like Shiv Shiva, it's like heat is picking up. It's so hot and it's kind of associated with it. And in a very local language, in a very colloquial language, we know that it's going to get hotter. There's no confusion about it. Without knowing about winter solstice, summer solstice, longest day, shortest day, study the sciences, study the geography. No, it's part of my life. And this orderliness must become part of life. When you take off your clothes, you need to put it in certain order. I have, or at least she's not that way anymore, but when she was growing up, my niece was would take off her clothes and just step out of it, and you could see the pant in the position that she had taken it off, the shirt in the position she had just taken it off and dropped it, and there were like room full of clothes like that. And of course, she's very bright, she's very intelligent, she did very well. So you cannot say there was, she'll grow up to be the one with no orderliness, but that's a growing phase. We do all of those. But then, can I begin picking it up one at a time and begin ordering when it is needed the most? See, I need to build these skills so the children can order their thoughts, align their thoughts when it is exam time, when it is their interview time. So, this ability to have my inner thoughts, feelings align with my outer actions and words, that is our goal. Otherwise, within me, I'm fragmented. I think one way, but I cannot do it that way. I talk, but I don't walk my talk. And that's why nobody trusts me. Trust is the biggest issue. Right? So if I can reduce that fragmentation, by just reducing the words, by just trying to seek my alignment between what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, to what I may want to do. So speak less, think whatever you can do, order your space in a way that you are confident that you can do it. So when there is that alignment building up between my inner and my outer, somewhere things begin to settle. I can visualize this, a distant relative of mine. You can tell him, take care of your grandmother. He will outright say, no, 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 I can't do it. For one day, I've been taking care of her forever, and one day, no, I just can't. I mean, he's very open. He's not trying to say, yeah, 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 I will, but then he's like regretting and all that. It may appear little abrupt, it may appear not caring, it may be the case. But then ability to say what I can, what I cannot. Of course, he can brush up the way he tells things. He can also develop the skills of taking care or being present. All that is our job as parents, to give children that confidence or exposure to say, yes, you can do this and do that, and give them two little things to work with. Take care of your grandmother for 5 minutes. All you have to do is sit with her and tell her about a story in your school. Those are small things that we need to do. So eventually we want to get to this orderliness so we can have this confidence, exercise the power of being a human being. And right now, in fourfold human being we talk about, we have all elements in me that align with the mineral world, that align with the plant world, that align with the animal world, and then there is human consciousness. That's the fourfoldedness we talk about. And somehow I stay in alignment with the plant world, in alignment with the animal world. Restrict myself to pains and pleasures, what I can do, and survival like animals, and not go to the next level of being human where we have to thrive, where we have to put efforts, where we have to build skills slowly, incrementally, one at a time. And this is something we must do for our children. So, personal order becomes definitely a personal power. All the very best.